Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible topics in human development: how children learn in their first few years of life. It's a period of explosive growth that sets the foundation for everything that comes later. If you're a parent, a caregiver, or just fascinated by the human mind, you're in the right place. Have you ever heard the phrase that a child's brain is like a sponge? Well, it's more than just a saying. It's a pretty accurate description of what's happening during infancy and toddlerhood. From the moment they're born, babies are on a mission to understand the world around them. Their brains are creating connections, called synapses, at an astonishing rate: over 1 million new neural connections every single second. This period is often called a critical window for learning, where the brain is incredibly plastic and receptive to new information. Everything they see, hear, touch, and feel is being absorbed and processed, building the very architecture of their brain. So, what fuels this incredible brain-building process? The answer is surprisingly simple: interactions. Everyday moments that might seem mundane to us are actually powerful learning opportunities for a child. Let's break it down into 3 key areas: talking, reading, and playing. First up, let's talk about talking. And I mean literally talking to your child. From day one, your voice is one of the most important sounds in your baby's world. When you talk, sing, or even just coo back and forth with them, you're not just making noise, you're laying the groundwork for language. This serve and return interaction, where you respond to their babbles and gestures, teaches them the rhythm of conversation. It tells them their voice matters and that communication is a two-way street. You don't need to use complex vocabulary. Just narrate your day. Now we're putting on your blue socks. Or listen to the birds singing outside. This constant stream of language helps their brain categorize sounds, understand words, and eventually learn to speak. Research shows that the number of words a child hears in their early years directly correlates with their vocabulary size and reading ability later on. So, chat away. Next, let's get into reading. You might think, why read to a baby who can't even understand the story? But reading aloud is about so much more than the plot. When you sit down with a book, you're creating a warm, nurturing experience. Your child associates books with comfort and your close presence. As you point to pictures and name objects, you're building their vocabulary and connecting words to images. They learn that pictures on a page represent real things. They also start to understand the basics of how books work, that you read from left to right, that you turn pages. This early exposure to print is a huge predictor of future literacy success. Even a simple board book with bright colors and different textures can be a treasure trove of sensory learning. It makes reading a fun, multi-sensory activity, not a chore. And that brings us to our third, and perhaps most important, pillar: play-in. For a child, play is not just for fun. It is their work. It's how they experiment, solve problems, and learn about the world in a hands-on way. When a toddler is stacking blocks, they're not just making a mess. They're learning about gravity, balance, and spatial relationships. When they're scribbling with crayons, they're developing the fine motor skills they'll need to write. And when they engage in pretend play, like feeding a doll or driving a toy car, they're practicing social roles, empathy, and creativity. Play allows children to explore cause and effect, test their physical limits, and navigate social situations with peers. It's through play that they build resilience, learning to try again when their block tower tumbles, or to negotiate who gets to use the red crayon. Now, tying all of this together is the magic ingredient: a responsive and engaged parent or caregiver. What does that mean? It means being present. It means noticing what your child is interested in and joining them in their world. When your child points at a dog, you can say, "Yes, that's a big, fluffy dog." The dog says, "Woof, woof." This simple act validates their observation and expands on it, creating a richer learning moment. Being responsive also means being attuned to their needs. A child who feels safe, loved, and secure is more confident to explore and learn. Their brain isn't bogged down by stress. It's free to be curious. This secure attachment forms a safe base from which they can venture out and discover the world, knowing they can always return to you for comfort and support. This constant positive feedback loop where the child initiates, and the adult responds is what strengthens those neural connections we talked about. It builds a robust brain architecture for thinking, language, and social-emotional skills. Think of yourself as a co-explorer on your child's journey of discovery. You're not there to direct every move, but to provide the tools, the support, and the encouragement they need to figure things out for themselves. So what does this look like in practice? It's simpler than you might think. It's getting down on the floor and rolling a ball back and forth. It's making silly faces to get a giggle. It's singing a song during bath time. It's letting them help you cook by stirring a bowl of ingredients. These small, everyday moments are the building blocks of a brilliant mind. You don't need expensive toys or fancy educational programs. The most powerful learning tools are you, your time, and your attention. Your interactions are shaping not just what your child knows, but who they will become: a curious, confident, and capable person. The early years fly by in a flash, but the impact of what happens during this time lasts a lifetime. By embracing the power of simple, loving interactions, you are giving your child the greatest gift of all: a strong foundation for a lifetime of learning and happiness. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this gave you some valuable insights into the amazing world of early childhood development. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. What are some of your favorite ways to play and learn with your little ones? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that is close to my heart: how to create a learning-friendly home for our kids. Now, when you hear that, you might picture a house filled with expensive educational toys, high-tech gadgets, and perfectly organized Montessori shelves. But I am here to tell you that creating a space that nurtures your child's natural curiosity is so much simpler, and honestly, so much more meaningful than that. It's not about buying more stuff. It's about shifting our perspective and making small, intentional changes to our everyday environment. So, what is a learning-friendly home, really? At its core, it's a place where a child feels safe, secure, and free to explore. It's a space where curiosity is encouraged, questions are welcomed, and mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, not failures. It's less about a formal classroom setup and more about creating an atmosphere of wonder and discovery right where you live. Think about it. Our homes are our children's first classrooms. This is where they learn about the world, about relationships, and about themselves. So let's make it the best learning environment it can possibly be. Let's start with the absolute foundation: safety and freedom to explore. For a child to learn, they need to feel safe enough to take risks. This means baby-proofing or child-proofing your home in a way that allows for maximum exploration. Instead of constantly saying, "No, don't touch that? What if we created a yes space? A space where most things are safe for them to touch, feel, and investigate. This might mean securing heavy furniture to the wall, covering outlets, and moving fragile items up high. But it also means having things at their level that are meant for them. Think about placing a sturdy, low shelf with a few select toys and books that they can access on their own. This empowers them, giving them a sense of control and independence over their own play and learning. When a toddler can pull out their own puzzle, they're not just playing, they're practicing decision-making and autonomy. Next up, let's talk about the power of sensory experiences. Children, especially young ones, learn through their senses. A learning-friendly home is rich with opportunities to touch, see, smell, hear, and even taste new things. And this doesn't require a fancy sensory table, although those are great too. You can do this with everyday items. Let them help you in the kitchen safely. Of course, let them feel the texture of different fruits and vegetables, smell the spices, hear the sizzle in the pan. Let them play with water in the sink or a basin with some cups and spoons. Take them outside to feel the rough bark of a tree, the soft petals of a flower, or the squishy mud after it rains. These simple, real-world sensory experiences are incredibly powerful for brain development. They build neural pathways and help children make sense of the world around them in a tangible way. One of the biggest challenges in our modern world is distraction. For both kids and adults, a key part of creating a learning-friendly environment is intentionally limiting distractions. This allows a child's mind to settle and focus, which is a critical skill for deep learning. This doesn't mean your house needs to be silent all the time, but it does mean being mindful of background noise. Is the TV on all day just for background noise? Maybe we can turn it off and play some calm music instead, or just enjoy the quiet. When it comes to toys, less is often more. A room overflowing with toys can be overwhelming and distracting. Try rotating toys, keep a small selection out, and store the rest. When you bring out a new toy from storage, it feels fresh and exciting, and your child is more likely to engage with it more deeply and for longer periods. This practice also makes cleanup much easier, which brings me to my next point. An organized and predictable environment helps a child feel calm and secure. When a child knows where their things belong, it gives them a sense of order and control. A simple mantra to follow is a place for everything, and everything in its place. Use clear bins, low shelves, and picture labels so even the youngest children can participate in tidying up. This isn't about having a perfectly pristine home. It's about creating systems that work for your family. When a child knows where to find their art supplies, they are more likely to initiate a creative project on their own. When they know where the books go, they are more likely to help put them away. Tidying up together becomes a part of the daily routine, teaching responsibility and respect for their belongings and their space. This external order helps create internal calm, freeing up mental energy for learning and creativity. Now, let's talk about the most important element of a learning-friendly home. Your attitude towards learning is contagious. When you show curiosity and a love for learning, your child will too. Let them see you reading books, trying a new recipe, fixing something that's broken, or looking up the answer to a question you don't know. Say things like, I don't know the answer to that. Let's find out together. This models the idea that learning is a lifelong journey, not just something that happens at school. It also validates their questions and shows them that it's okay not to know everything. The conversations you have are so important. When your child is playing, try to be a commentator, not a director. Instead of telling them what to do, describe what you see. Wow, You are stacking those blocks so high. You're using a big one on the bottom. That's a strong base. This builds their vocabulary and self-esteem without interrupting their flow. Let's integrate learning into daily routines. Learning isn't a separate activity that you schedule for 30 minutes a day. It's woven into the fabric of your life. Doing laundry? Let your toddler help you sort the clothes by color. Going grocery shopping? Have your older child help you find items on the list or compare prices. Setting the table? Count the forks and spoons together. These everyday moments are rich with learning opportunities for math, language, and practical life skills. You're showing them that learning is relevant, useful, and a natural part of being in the world. It takes the pressure off teaching and reframes it as discovering together. Finally, make space for boredom. This might sound counterintuitive, but boredom is the birthplace of creativity. In our rush to keep our kids entertained and stimulated, we can sometimes rob them of the quiet time their brains need to imagine, create, and problem solve. When a child says, "I'm bored," resist the urge to immediately offer a solution or hand them a screen. Instead, you could say, "Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what you'll find to do." It's in these moments of unstructured time that they might build an amazing fort out of couch cushions, write a story, or simply lie on the grass and watch the clouds. Giving them the gift of unstructured time allows their inner world to flourish. It teaches them how to self-direct, how to rely on their own internal resources, and how to be comfortable with themselves. So, to recap, creating a learning-friendly home is about creating a yes space that's safe for exploration. It's about providing rich sensory experiences with everyday items. It's about reducing distractions and embracing the less is more philosophy with toys. It's about establishing simple, organized systems that create a sense of calm and order. Most importantly, it's about your own attitude modeling, curiosity, and engaging in the learning journey together. It's about weaving learning into your daily life and allowing for those crucial moments of unstructured, quiet time. It's not about perfection. It's about intention. It's about building a home where your child feels loved, safe, and inspired to be the curious, capable learner they were born to be. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope these ideas have inspired you to look at your own home in a new light. What's one small change you can make this week to make your home a little more learning-friendly? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your ideas. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on mindful parenting and creating a life you love with your family. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As parents, we all want to give our kids the best possible start in life, and a big part of that is nurturing their developing brains. You might think this requires expensive toys, fancy classes, or complicated learning systems. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful brain-boosting activities are simple, free, and can be easily woven into your everyday routine? Today, we're diving into the science of play and discovering how small, fun interactions can lead to massive brain growth. Stick around because these tips are game changers for raising curious, creative, and smart kids. First, let's talk about why these simple activities are so effective. A child's brain is like a bustling city under construction. Every new experience, every question, every little challenge helps build new neural pathways. Like roads connecting different parts of the city, the more roads there are, and the more they're used, the faster and more efficiently the brain works. This process is called neuroplasticity, and it's most active during early childhood. The activities we're about to discuss are specifically designed to stimulate this construction process, strengthening key areas responsible for memory, language, problem solving, and emotional intelligence. It's not about pushing them to be little geniuses. It's about providing a rich environment where their brains can naturally thrive. So, let's get into our first simple yet powerful brain booster. Let's start with something we all have at home. Puzzles. Jigsaw puzzles, shape sorters, or even simple block building puzzles are fantastic for brain development. When a child works on a puzzle, they're not just fitting pieces together. They're using their visual spatial reasoning to see how shapes fit into a larger picture. They're developing fine motor skills as they grasp and manipulate the pieces, and they're exercising their problem-solving abilities every time a piece doesn't fit, and they have to try a new strategy. This trial and error process builds persistence and resilience. Plus, that amazing feeling of satisfaction when they finally complete the puzzle gives them a huge confidence boost. Start with simple puzzles with large knobs, and as they get more skilled, you can introduce more complex ones. It's a quiet activity that packs a serious developmental punch. Next up is the magical world of storytelling. This isn't just about reading a book before bed, although that's wonderful too. I'm talking about interactive storytelling. When you read, stop and ask questions. What do you think will happen next? Or how do you think the little bear is feeling right now? This encourages predictive thinking and empathy. Even better, create stories together. Start a story with a simple line like, "Once upon a time, there was a purple squirrel who loved to ... double quotes, and let your child fill in the blank." This collaborative process ignites their imagination and creativity. They have to access their vocabulary, structure sentences, and think sequentially. It builds language skills far more effectively than just passively listening. You can even act out the stories, which adds a physical dimension to their learning and memory. Now, for an activity you can do literally anywhere. Counting things. It sounds basic, but it's the foundation of mathematical thinking. As you walk to the park, count the number of dogs you see. While grocery shopping, have your child count how many apples you put in the bag. At home, count the steps from the kitchen to their bedroom. This turns the abstract concept of numbers into something tangible and real. It helps them understand quantity, sequence, and one-on-one correspondence. You can take it a step further by introducing simple addition and subtraction. We have 3 red cars. If we add 2 blue cars, how many do we have in total? This isn't a math quiz. It's a playful game that makes numbers friendly and fun, laying a crucial groundwork for future academic success. Let's not forget the powerhouse of brain development: pretend play. When a child pretends to be a doctor, a chef, or a superhero, they are doing so much more than just playing. They are navigating complex social scenarios, practicing negotiation and cooperation if they're playing with others. You be the patient, and I'll be the doctor. This simple exchange involves role assignment and rule-making. They're also developing their executive functions, the brain's air traffic control system. They have to plan their play, stay in character, and solve problems that arise, like what to do when the patient suddenly wants to be the doctor instead. This kind of imaginative play allows them to explore different emotions and perspectives in a safe environment, which is vital for building emotional intelligence and empathy. So, break out the old boxers and blankets and let their imaginations run wild. Another incredibly beneficial activity is engaging with music. And no, you don't need to be a concert pianist. Simply singing songs, clapping to a beat, or dancing around the living room can have profound effects on the brain. Music activates multiple brain regions simultaneously, including those involved with language, hearing, and motor control. Singing nursery rhymes, for example, is fantastic for developing phonological awareness, ability to hear and play with the smaller sounds and words, which is a critical pre-reading skill. The rhythm and repetition help with memory and pattern recognition. Learning the coordinated movements for songs like head, shoulders, knees, and toes improves body awareness and motor planning. So, turn up the music and have a family dance party. It's a joyful way to connect and a sneaky way to build a smarter brain. Let's talk about getting our hands dirty. Sensory play is crucial for brain development. Activities that engage the senses, like playing with sand, water, Play-Doh, or even helping you mix ingredients for baking, create strong neural connections. When a child squishes dough between their fingers, they're not just making a mess. They are learning about texture, cause and effect, and measurement. They are developing their fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination. This hands-on exploration allows them to conduct their own little science experiments. What happens if I add more water to the sand? This type of learning is deep and memorable because it involves multiple senses. It also has a wonderfully calming effect on many children, helping them regulate their emotions and focus their attention. Building with blocks is another classic for a reason. Whether it's wooden blocks, Legos, or building activities are a masterclass in physics, engineering, and creative problems. As kids stack blocks, they're intuitively learning about gravity, balance, and stability. When their tower falls, it's not a failure, it's a data point. They learn to analyze what went wrong and adjust their strategy for the next attempt. This iterative process builds resilience and a growth mindset. Building also enhances spatial reasoning, which is a key skill in STEM fields. And when they work with a friend to build a giant castle, they're practicing communication, collaboration, and teamwork. It's a perfect blend of artistic expression and scientific thinking. Finally, one of the most important things you can do is simply talk. Talk to your child constantly. Narrate your day. I'm washing the dishes now. The water feels warm. Look at that big, red truck driving by. This constant stream of language is like a nutrient-rich fertilizer for their brain. It exposes them to a wide vocabulary and models correct sentence structure. It's not just about talking asterisk at asterisk them. It's about having conversations. Listen to their babbles and respond as if you understand. Answer their endless why questions patiently. These back-and-forth interactions, known as serve and return, are fundamental to brain architecture. They show your child that their thoughts and words matter, building their self-esteem and their communication skills at the same time. So there you have a whole toolkit of simple, effective, and fun ways to boost your child's brain development. It's not about structured lessons or flashcards. It's about integrating playful learning into the moments you already share. It's about counting steps, telling silly stories, building wobbly towers, and dancing in the kitchen. These activities don't just make your child smarter. They build a strong, loving bond between you, which is the most important foundation of all. Remember, the goal is to nurture a lifelong love of learning, and that begins with play. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found these ideas helpful and feel inspired to try them out. Which of these activities is your family's favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading about your experiences. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more tips on parenting and child development. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep playing, keep learning, and keep growing together. Bye for now.